I get emails every day for the last 2.5 years. When are we going to get, a Messiah, not, brown ale back? And when is Genesis coming? So we're going to bring back some of the old favorites and brew some new
Hmm.
stuff and get those on shelves.
What beers have been brewed in those since the transition?
We've experimented, and this whole period of time has been an experimentation
Hmm.
to figure out what we want to do, what works, what resonates with people, and how can we really make sure the brand engages as a whole within that sacred value of creativity. Before I bought the brand, Schmaltz did a lot of contract brewing. Its last few years was contract brewing. We've done a little bit of contract brewing, experimenting with different relationships. We've actually done a little bit of experimentation with home brewing. Through the experimentation, we've created a bunch of different labels. We've created a bunch of different beer names for future beers. I'm working on a different beer for every single parsha. We've got,
Oh, nice.
we've got. I think I'm all the way through Exodus at this point. My favorite beer is a beer that tells the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau comes running in famished and wants something to eat, and Jacob's in the kitchen cooking the red lentil soup, and decides to trick Esau into selling his birthright, for the soup. Esau says, "Give me some of that red stuff."
Hmm.
And I think that would be a perfect beer name for a red ale or something. So that's
Oh,
uh,
nice.
that's
I thought you were
something
going to say you're
small.
going to throw in red lentils into the mash, but
I'm going to write that one down. Not, not no. So we've done a lot of experimentation on paper, but when it comes to what we've actually put in the tank and brewed, we brewed the first beer that we made, and this none of this is commercial. This is all internal and at our own events so far.
Mhm.
The first beer we experimented with was a beer for my wedding last August.
Mhm.
We made an American wheat beer, which is a
Mhm.
great summer beer, and also one that I thought would be pretty palatable to all those folks who say, "Oh, I don't really like beer." This is, and we called this beer Sheva Brufot, which is a pun, of course, on the Sheva Brachot, the
Mhm.
seven blessings that you say under the chuppah. And so the one other beer that's coming to mind right now that we've experimented with is the one that we bottled yesterday. We're
Mm.
brewing a very special ordination beer that I'm going to debut and showcase at Temple Emmanuel in New York City
Mhm.
uh, for my rabbinic classes ordination. And so we'll already have done that, of course, when everyone's listening. The beer is called "Make the Old New" and the New Hoppy. It is inspired by Harav Kook, Rabbi Abraham
Mm.
Isaac Kook, and his charge to us to make the old new and the new holy, which I
Mm.
place at the center of my rabbinic mission. It's a very important quote to me. So
Mm.
we decided to think about how can we embody that quote and that teaching in a beer. How can we get both the old and the new in there? We decided to take one of the oldest beer recipes out there, and you'll know this in six different tractates of the Talmud. We see date beer referenced in some
Mhm.
way. So
Yep.
we decided to make a date beer, but to make it modern by brewing it in the style of a West Coast IPA.
Oh,
So
nice.
we brewed a West Coast IPA using only Washington State hops to honor my journey there,
Yeah.
and we poured in some jars of Ceylon into the brew, into the mash. The Israeli date honey, and then we also got both top. We got sorry from the old world and the new world. So we used primarily German Pilsner malt. We wanted to embody that aspect of diaspora, Europe, the old world, where for me it's important because it's where the reform movement of the movement I'm a part of, where it all began. And then we have American Greens show where I am and where the movement flourished.